talk about where we're going to get test automation tools and what we'll be able to do with test automation over the next 5 to 10 years. And I'll be making lots of crazy predictions. Some of them might turn out to be true, some of them might not. But pretty much all the things that I'll mention today, you will be able to do even today if you don't mind a bit of kind of glue and tape and doing things yourself. Gartner estimates that today there's about 5 billion connected devices on the internet. And they estimate that by 2020, there's going to be 20 billion devices on the internet. A company called ABI Research estimates that that number is going to be closer to 40 billion. And regardless of kind of which number you subscribe to, this is going to be massive. IDC estimates that the worldwide market for services and devices related to Internet of Things in 2020 is going to be worth $7 trillion. We're going to have software running in cars, that is driving cars that interfaces with the car panel and things like that. And there's a massive, massive push towards the front end and front end technologies that we'll have to look at and we'll have to test and consider that. And I think those two trends combined with the complexity of software that's increasing are creating very interesting challenges. The other thing that is really, really interesting is the push towards the cloud. Pretty much everybody wants to be on the cloud and everything wants to be on the cloud. And IDC estimates that by the end of next year, 65% of companies will have some kind of monstrous half on-premise, half cloud infrastructure. And this is creating quite an interesting challenge because some testing techniques that we are using now that are based on us trusting our hardware and trusting that kind of this stuff is under our control, they change completely. And the risk profile changes completely. So that's another kind of really interesting challenge that we're going to face in the future. Now, these things don't just kind of pose challenges, they open up some really, really interesting opportunities as well. And this is where I think we can start shifting the balance of what we're doing now and save quite a lot of time if we use these new opportunities effectively. So the first opportunity I think is really interesting is shifting the balance of expected versus unexpected. Because at the moment there's this whole division, we're checking for expected stuff, then we're exploring for unexpected things, and there's a massive kind of embarrassment waiting for companies that are not doing this well. For example, Skype famously had this bug where if somebody typed HTTP : without the rest of the URL in Skype last year, the thing completely crashed. You had to uninstall it. Kind of restarting didn't fix it. Now, is this unexpected? Well, we shouldn't be caught by unit tests, integration tests, who knows? Or is this something that's kind of quite expected? Can we expect that things like this happen? Where I think over the last, 15, 20 years, we've built enough knowledge that these things should not be called unexpected anymore. I mean, it's 2016, the fact that somebody has an apostrophe in the name or an umlaut, it's not the end of the world. There's kind of lots of people like that. And I have no idea why we're still calling those things unexpected. And why that's dealt with exploratory testing rather than kind of just being dealt with by a machine. One of the more interesting things that kind of happened over the last few months and is finally getting launched next month is this video game called No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is incredibly important for everybody doing IT, because of their approach to looking at testing. And No Man's Sky is a generative universe game where they are creating 18 quintillion worlds. Each of these worlds will be fully playable. That means that you as a player will be able to land a spaceship there, explore it, farm it, mine it, attack it. How will ever humans be able to cover that? Now, what they've done at No Man's Sky is amazing. They've basically taken the approach that NASA's taken to space exploration, and they have built software probes that fly around this universe and take videos. And then they show those videos in the development room, and people, while they're building stuff, observe the videos and they can say, oh, this is weird. Then they pause, they look at this and say, well, this is a cat that has only 3 legs. This is insane. Why did that happen in the algorithm? They kind of try and work it out. Then kind of they fix that, they redeploy the whole thing, and then the probes fly around again. And I think kind of that's an incredibly interesting approach for assisted exploratory testing, where we'll be able to direct a probe to go through the software somehow, go through a workflow, move around semi-autonomously, and report back on what it's seeing. Whether kind of, for a website that might be a series of screenshots, for a mobile app that might be a workflow or something like that, and then we'll be able to observe and figure out whether this thing is the right thing or not, and make a decision on that. It's really useful not to take away human decision-making there, but maybe we can help humans explore this space of our software and make those decisions, especially with combinations of hardware, software, operating systems, clouds, devices, and things like that. And that's what I think we'll start seeing lots and lots of tools emerging in this space. The next opportunity that I think is going to be very, very valuable is dealing with things that are not that easy to predict, especially when you think about launching a new product or launching a new service. For example, Facebook is famous for launching any new feature to about 1% of their users. And then they're monitoring, is there something unexpected going on? And then if there's nothing unexpected, 1%, they'll increase it to 10% and monitor, is there something unexpected going on? And then kind of they'll increase it later. Lots and lots of companies are kind of taking the approaches like that, where it's gradually releasing and monitoring just to see if there's something unexpected. But I really think that, over the next 5 or 6 years, all this stuff is going to be much better integrated and much, much cheaper than it is today. And it's going to completely shift the balance of how we think about what's expected, what's unexpected. What can we automate, what we can't automate. And that's kind of what I wanted to challenge you to think about today. I hope I've given you kind of a few things to think about. Thank you very much.